Well, I've had a couple of people asking for a quick update on where we are on Scenicruiser PD4501, serial number 304 with the engine repower. And I thought we'd try a video, might make it a little easier to see what we're doing. So we're making good progress, not as far as we'd like. We were hoping to have the bus ready for Napanee, and I'm not sure we're going to make that, but we'll keep trying. We had the 8V71 fail a few years ago, and decided it was the right opportunity to pull that engine and the 4-speed Spicer out, replace it with a higher horsepower 8V92 and Allison 5-speed automatic. So went down to Scott's. He helped me down in Bus Grease Monkey to rebuild the 8V92, and here it is in the bus, 525 horse, a little over 1,500 foot-pound of torque. Basically, it's in, ready to go, except for completion of the cooling system. We modified the original fan drive from the Scenicruiser, and had to modify the mount to fit the 8V92 water pump. A lot of guys that do the 8V92 conversion use an 871 pump. Just doesn't have enough flow for me. So that drives the through to the Ohio gear. Gary Purtle helped me find, or had 3 shafts made, so we convert it to a 9-blade nylon fan for improved cooling. And as far as cooling, that's the biggest challenge on this motor. The radiator is the original radiator. I recored it from a 5-core to a 7-core. The hoses here are missing at the moment because I'm opening the radiator a lot, so I didn't want to cycle the hoses, but that's a simple job. And then I have further cooling, runs over here across, and we've mounted a 7-core aluminum radiator on a swing out, and those hoses will come back. I've just got to put the flex hoses in here. And then that'll be finished and we can fill it with water. Because of the increased water capacity, I did add a 2-stage surge tank. So half of it is actually a expansion with a line running down to the base of the engine, and then the other half is overflow from each of the radiators and from the top of the motor. Just got to connect those lines. Other modifications, we did have to make a new solenoid plate to keep the high speed, and also to add mechanical cruise control. Fuel system is finished. A little bit of redundancy. I do still have a 25 and a 5 micron, a 3 micron filter. I went ahead and added a Fleet Guard. It's a Fuel Pro 382. I know Scott's been using these and really loves them. It allowed me to wash the fuel as well. I was able to put a pump on the end of the Fuel Pro, run a line back to the tank, and just let it run for a few hours to clean the fuel out. As far as the intake system, the original intake was up here. Air bath cleaners, we removed those. I partitioned that panel, so the intake is still in the same location, but it comes down into this Donaldson cartridge filter, and then comes out of the back of the Donaldson up and into the turbo up on top of the engine. That also has airline back to the air compressor, and went with a 750 rather than the 500 to give us faster fill time. In addition, on the engine, going around to the other side, the exhaust is 5-inch stainless through an expansion joint into a 5-inch resonator, and then we have 5-inch stainless going all the way back to a stainless tailpipe, a single tailpipe behind the bumper. Accessories, I got rid of the 50DN massive alternator and put on a Snevel belt drive. It's much easier for maintenance. Hard to see, but back there the blue is a Vickers hydraulic pump, much more efficient. You can buy one of those for a Detroit and they're about $2,000. You can buy the exact same pump for a school bus for less than $300. I bought a school bus pump and was able to adapt it to a Detroit mount, so no problem. Water lines here back to the transmission, and then we've kept the original bus hydraulic system back to the up to the steering. And while I'm in this area, I'll mention we did replace all the hydraulic lines, the air lines, the fuel lines. So all the lines in the engine bay and forward have been replaced. Got shares in the local Napa with the amount I've spent on hydraulic lines. And actually, if you look through past the turbo, you can see the governor plate back there that I had to modify to allow us to continue to use the high speed and the cruise control, plus the jakes. So, all right. The transmission I mentioned was a Allison HT750, externally cooled. So this is the transmission cooler, 1-inch lines to the transmission and 2.5-inch water lines. New drive shaft, and in order to for maintenance, I did have to make a new dipstick, which is the little red cap here that allows me to access the transmission while the radiator is in fact closed. And there's a better look at the 9-blade fan. In addition to the engine work, I also went ahead and did some suspension, and so redone the suspension, new brakes, rebuilt. It'll be getting all new bearings. All the suspension bushings have been all replaced and back in. I do have all of the bearings all restored, ready to go here in boxes. Just got to put the hubs on in the next few days. That's the next job. You might notice that I actually still have the original airbags, not original, but some older airbags. I had to replace these about 25 years ago when I first bought the bus. I was going to put new ones in. I bought some. Was really disappointed with the quality of the new airbags, and since these are in pretty good condition, I decided not to change them out. We'll just carry a couple of spares with us, but yeah, didn't like the new ones. We did have to do a lot of chassis mods, welding, so all of this has been repaired on both sides and on the forward side. Surprising how much rust there was, but it welded up okay. We just cut it out and repaired it. And then there were a lot of modifications to the frame to make the 92 fit, which did surprise me. I know a lot of people have done this. We had to fabricate all our own mounts. Oh, I fabricated all the mounts, but it's worked out well. One thing I should mention, if you see blue tape on the engine, all that means is I've still got something I need to do. So for example, I don't keep the belts tight while I'm working on it, so I just need to tighten the belts there. I've got to connect the lines to like the water temperatures and the water switches, that kind of thing. So the fuel filters need to be filled and tightened. These are just on temporarily. So that's what the blue tape's about. And I did run all new heater lines. You can see everything. I tried to do everything in copper, just like the original bus. Same on the other side. So we did make the other radiator swing out for maintenance reasons. What's left to do is mostly electrical. I have already run 7 core lines from the engine bay forward to the cockpit. I've also added a fuse box back here, so I'll be able to power the electric fans. I've got Spal electric fans on the second radiator. The cooling system, heating system, I'm using an electric water pump, basically the same type that's used on a school bus. So the power for that, and also for the cruise control solenoid and any other electric items that we have back here. So same again on this side, suspension done, a lot of repair work. The transmission itself is shifted with a Stone Bennett air over hydraulics. So I've run the lines forward on that. I haven't got the shifter installed yet. And mechanical kickdown cable. Again, new brakes, all new bushings on this side. One other thing to mention on the suspension, these rear radius rods, you can't get the bushings anymore. They were unique to the Scenicruiser, so I sent mine away to Jeff Wiley with a set of more modern bushings, and Jeff was able to machine them, make the bushings to the rods, and that came out really nicely. And as a matter of interest, the wear that was in these bushings didn't look too bad, but when I actually raised the bus to work on it and set the axles before I removed the suspension, I haven't moved it since that time, and when I installed the radius rods on both sides, I adjusted the axles to line everything up, and the drive axle ended up moving back over an inch. That's how much play there was. So I'm hoping it'll go down the road a lot smoother once we get it back running. But it was surprising. It didn't look to be that much wear, but obviously it allowed the axle to reposition significantly. And then just a last couple of things. Up in the driver's compartment, I did run two 7-core 14 gauge lines from the engine bay up to the driver's area. Therefore, gauges, switches, all the interconnects that I need front to back. I've also fully mounted the cruise control electric, so the switch is mounted and all powered. I just got to put the solenoid in the back. One other thing, the shifter itself, I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go. I could always mount it here where the original went, possibly under the dash. It's a real small, you can see by the size of my hand, out of a dump truck or a semi-truck to operate the Stone Bennett shifter. So it may sit over in that corner. Just got to figure out the best location. And I will be redesigning the dash for all the new gauges. I think there's 8 in total, additional gauges, so I've got to figure out where I'm going to put them, and that'll be done over the winter. I've got some temporary gauge pods that we can use if we can get it running this year, and then do the redesign later. I did modify the battery tray. So the original battery tray uses 2 8Ds. I needed it to be shorter, and I don't like lifting the 8Ds at my age, so I went ahead and modified this to shorten it and modified it to take 3 Group 31s instead of the 2 8Ds. So I think that's pretty much it, just basically a quick update. Hopefully we'll have the hoses done within the next week. We'll get water in it, and we'll go for a first fire. Okay, thank you.